Hey YouTubers, welcome to Roots to My Curse. This is your girl Terry Ann Marie Nelson, and I am here to leave with you some tips on how to increase your self-love. Right, I just finished creating a video on self-love called Love Thyself, so make sure you check that out if you haven't already. But this video is really just a quick 2-minute video to really just share with you some tips on really how to become a more self-loving woman. Right, tip number one: choosing yourself. Understand that when you do this, this might not make you popular or it may upset others. Especially if you're that type of person who constantly put others first or constantly going out your way to do things for others. Sometimes you need to do that for yourself. You need to take some time out for yourself. You need to get some rest. You need to re-energize or just take some time out for you. It's so important. So that's why this tip is number one. Choose yourself and understand that it's not a bad thing to put you first sometimes. It's not a bad thing to say no to others. Sometimes we really need to check in with ourselves and see what's going on, making sure that we're good. And if we're not good, then how can you help anybody else? So it's really important that you take that time out for you and really choose you first. Tip number two: tell them what is true for you. Many times we like to bite our tongues or not explain to people what they did, how that made us feel or how that impacted us. And we really hold on to things a lot longer than we should. And as women, we really do hold grudges and we don't know how to let things go. And sometimes it'll be months go by and we're mad at someone. We don't even remember why am I even mad at that person. So it's really important that, when something happens or someone says something or does something that makes you feel a way, to address it in a calm manner, of course, but still address it. Um, that way you can have that conversation, you can talk it out, and everything can be resolved. But as long as we hold things in or we pretend things are okay, all we're doing is really hurting ourselves. And that other person, they're living their lives not even knowing that they did something. That's why it's really important to really tell your truth, to really speak about how you feel. Tip number three: giving our bodies the nurture, rest, exercise, and comfort it needs. Our body is constantly going through a lot, especially as women. From our monthly uninvited guests, right? To just going through the ins and out of our daily lives. It's really important to check in with your body and make sure it's okay and really give it some love. Every now and then, I like to pamper myself. I like to go get my nails done. Get a little massage every now and then because I understand my body and I know that when it needs rest, I gotta make sure it gets rest. I'm also a big believer in daily exercise. I know I need that. It's a great way for me to release stress, but also just make sure that I'm feeling good about my body. I'm loving it. I like how it looks. It's also about building that self love, right, and confidence. So you really gotta show your body some love. Don't be afraid to just give yourself a hug sometimes. Really, all right. So that brings us to tip number four, which is wearing clothes that makes you feel good and fit your personality, rather than trying to wear clothes that are in fashion or trying to impress others. Sometimes actually, I'm gonna tell a personal story. So back before I was saved, or really just like in a lost state of mind, um, I used to wear things that were very revealing and a little tighter than it should be, because not because I was so confident in my body, no, because I was trying to get a reaction or draw attention from the wrong type of people, and because I didn't have my own type of self love, I was looking for love in others, and so I figured if I can get their attention, maybe then they'll love me. And that was so incorrect. So I'm not saying that you can't be stylish because you love yourself. No, like look at me. I love fashion. I love style. I think actually the more in love I became with myself, the more bolder my fashion choices became. Because I used to think, well, I can't wear that because I'm a little thicker, or I don't have this right body type. I can't do a crop top. I'm like, actually, I can, and I can make it look good, and I can dress it up and to match my personality and my style, and I can rock it with confidence, right? So I think the more you love yourself, you can wear sweats and a t-shirt and still rock it with style and confidence, right? And because of that self-love that you have, you can just do it. So tip number five, and this I must say is my favorite, which is to build a life that you love while you're single. Yeah, so this one's for my single girls, right? Who's just like me, who don't need to wait around for a prince to show up to explore life and be happy. I think being single is the perfect opportunity to really do you. And I'll have a video talking about this and how to really enjoy singleness because I definitely do. I definitely build and live a life that I enjoy. I'm not waiting for Prince Charming to show up and save me, before I start living, enjoying life, or being happy. No, I'm doing things now. I'm traveling. I'm going to book. I'm in medical school. Like I'm really doing me as a single, so that when he comes along, he'll just be adding to my fun, really. But I'll leave that there for now, right? I'll do a whole video on being single, being saved, being waiting to marry, being celibate, all that. So wait for that to come. Tip number 6: accepting ourselves with the good, the bad, the ugly, the smelly, as well as the sexy. I think it's really self-explanatory, but it's something that really needs to be understood when it comes to self-love. You really need to accept all of you, not just some of you, some things, not the good things. No, you need to accept all of you and own your flaws. Own your flaws and rock them proudly. Because we all have flaws. Not one of us are perfect here on earth. None of us are, right? We all have things that we believe are wrong with us. So really just own it, love it, and rock it. Number 7, right? So make a time to do whatever it is that you love. So it's really taking that time out, like I said in number 1, like putting yourself first. Really taking that time out for you to really just do things that you enjoy, right? So if you enjoy reading, listening to music, doing going to a concert or whatever it is that you enjoy, no judgment here. What you do in your own time is what you do in your own time. But really taking time out to really just do things that you enjoy and love. Number 8. Okay, cool. Owning your inner and outer beauty and complimenting yourself without feeling guilty, arrogant, or entitled. I think that's really, really important. I think we really, as women, can own our outer beauty, or we try to. We'll cover it up with makeup and highlight and contour and plug, bleach, whatever. But also your inner beauty as well, because you can be as beautiful as you are on the outside, but if you are ugly and have a nasty attitude on the inside, girl, it don't even matter. So really making sure so really make sure you own your inner and outer beauty as well, and spend a lot of time working on the inner person, making sure that you're a great person to be around, that you are loving and kind and gentle and caring and patient, and really just making sure that you're beautiful on the inside as well as the outside. Okay. So tip number 8: owning your outer as well as your inner beauty, and being able to compliment yourself without feeling arrogant, guilty, or entitled. And I think this goes back to tip number 6, where I told you to accept all of you, but you really need to be able to, again, love all of you, the outer as well as the inner, and be able to give yourself confidence. Be proud of who you are. I'm not saying be arrogant. I think you just, and no one can even talk to you. But no, like really just being able to be like, you know what, hey Terry, like you are so intelligent, you have a great smile, you're a good personality, you're really loving and caring. Being able to give yourself compliments and not even feel guilty for it. Because if no one else is going to tell you, at least you're telling yourself. So be able to compliment yourself, be able to tell yourself, hey, I love you, and actually mean it. Because you shouldn't wait for a man to tell you I love you. That should not be the only time you say you hear I love you. You should be able to tell yourself that first, right? So be able to make sure you compliment yourself, remind yourself of who you are and of your worth. It's really important. That leads us to tip number 9. Right? 9. Okay, cool. This is so important because I'm also find myself guilty for this as well. But it's not rehearsing your past mistakes and dragging yourself in dark places when you know that you can only learn from the past. Honestly, you can't change what already happened. You can't go back. I mean, I wish there was a time machine, but that has not been invented yet. So I have a motto that I live by, and that's living with no regrets. Because so many choices that I made, that looking back, I'm just like, wow, why did I ever do that? And I can really beat myself up over it and really give myself a hard time. But what's that going to do? That's not going to solve anything either. Because again, no time machine, so I can't go back in the past and undo that choice or that decision. What I can do though is learn from it and move on from it and forgive myself for it. Because like I said, I find myself guilty of this all the time where I like to live in the past sometimes and be like, dang, why'd you do that? Or why'd you make that mistake? And so what I am learning to do is really learn how to forgive myself and forget. When we talk about from a spiritual religious aspect, we ask God to forgive us of our sins, not only does He forgive us, but He also throws it into the sea of forgetfulness, the Bible says. And so He forgets about these past things that we've done. So why don't we, why don't we also forget these past things that we've done, instead of like bringing it up all the time or really constantly living through hurts and things that we've done. Because we can sit here and, you know, think back on those past decisions that we made and really give ourselves a hard time before we can move on. And I'm choosing to move on. I'm choosing to forgive myself for things that I used to do, or for things that I did, or for things I even did yesterday, knowing that I know better. But hey, yesterday's in the past. Why even? Can't change it. Can't do anything about it. So might as well just move on. And so should you. So make sure you are willing to forgive yourself and really let go of the past. Right? Don't even hold on to it. Really let it go. Free yourself from it. Break free from who you once were. Focus on who you are becoming. And hey, you may slip up here or there. And that's okay. That does not mean you're a horrible person either. Again, we're a work in progress. No one's perfect. We're gonna mess up and we're gonna slip up, and that's okay. Don't take it hard on yourself. Again, keep moving forward. And that leads us to our last and final tip. Tip number 10, which is allowing yourself to make mistakes and not berating yourself for making them. Instead, choosing to appreciate our desire to learn and grow. Like I said, you're not going to be perfect. You're going to mess up and you're going to make mistakes. And that's okay. It's just a part of the process. It's basically the growing pains. But not really, like I said, can't change to yesterday, so don't even hold on to what you did yesterday or the mistakes you made. Learn from it and grow. Continue to move forward. All right? And that's just be a 2-minute video, so I'm really sorry that this is a lot longer, but I really needed to share these tips and help you understand so that you can grow and become that confident woman that God has designed you to be. So here's you becoming a woman that loves herself, all of herself, from her roots to her curves. All right, guys, make sure you subscribe, check out some other videos. Make sure you follow me at Roots to My Curves for some daily encouragement, and at Terry and Marie to follow my fashion and style and just my daily life and what I be doing and where I be going. Also, make sure you subscribe and comment below, some other tips that you may have about how to become a more self-loving woman, as well as what you thought about the tips that I gave you as well, and share some topics or ideas that you would like for me to discuss. Okay, so till next time, stay encouraged.